Hello and welcome to this session in which we will discuss the respond function of the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. In the prior session, we looked at the detection function. So once we detect a cybersecurity attack, what do we do next? We respond. And prior to detection, we looked at protection. First, we want to make sure we are protecting our assets before we allow any attack through to detect. Then before protection, we have to identify what assets do we have, and before we identify what assets, we have to have a governed structure for our NIST cybersecurity. So we already covered govern, identify, protect, detect, and now we are at the respond function of the NIST cybersecurity, which is what? The NIST Cybersecurity Framework is a voluntary set of guidelines that help organizations manage and reduce cybersecurity risk. It's designed to be flexible, adaptable by the organization, regardless of the size and the industry. And it consists of 6 core functions. We are on the 5th core function today, and the next one will be after we respond, we recover. There's a profile you need to be familiar with in the 4 tiers. So in this session, we will focus specifically on the respond function, and all these together, the functions, the profile, and the tiers, they form a comprehensive approach to deal with cybersecurity. Let's go ahead and dive a little deeper into the respond function. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, FarhatLectures.com. Hello everyone, my name is Farhat. If you are watching this, you are probably studying for the Information Systems and Controls CPA Exam disciplines. That means you are already serious about your future. And I want to help you go even further. At Farhat Lectures, you will get in-depth video explanation for all topics, clear and organized notes accompanying the lectures, thousands of MCQs with AI-powered explanation and assistance, all previously released AI CPA, MCQs, and simulation in a video format explanation. And last but not least, our personal guidance and support. My guidance and support, as well as the support of the Farhat team. Go ahead, visit Farhat Lectures and start your free trial. You have 2 days. Take your preparation to the next level, so you are not just studying alone. We are here to assist you. If you are ready to pass, visit the website, and I hope to see you on the website. So just to kind of confirm where we are at the respond function, and under the respond function, we are going to have 4 categories and many subcategories. As I told you, I don't cover the subcategories because for the CPA exam, all what you need is the function and knowing basic information about the categories. Again, we're going to look at the profile later and the 4 tiers. Now, what is the respond function? Just one more time, the respond function usually comes after the detection function. So we detected an we detected an attack. Our radar system recorded there is something going on, and now it's a serious that we have to do something. So the response function encompasses activities designed to effectively manage. We need to manage this attack and limit its impact. Limit, it means what? After we detected the function, we want to stop it. We want to stop this attack from spreading further. This is what the respond function is. So what do we have to have, generally speaking? We have to have clear processes to detect, analyze, contain means stop, and communicate the incident promptly and transparently. So within this respond function, we're going to have 4 categories. 1 is incident management, 2 is incident analysis, 3 is incident response reporting and communication, and 4 is incident mitigation. We're going to cover each one of them separately, but the whole process of the response is to minimize the impact and obviously learn from the attack. Why do we need to learn from the attack? Because the next function we're going to be working with is recover. Therefore, when we recover, we learn from the attack, and if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's the key. So under incident management involve what? Involve having defined and tested processes to handle cybersecurity incident on a timely fashion and effectively. So simply put, you have to know what should happen after we have a detection, what to do after the detection. This is incident management. That means, do we know? Do we have policies? Do we have procedures to respond? We don't want to figure things out as it's happening. We want to be ready. And under incident management, it's going to spell out, it's going to tell us what are the procedures that we need to undertake once we detect an attack. And this include clear roles. Who's responsible for what? If we have a phishing attack, who's responsible for that? If we have a malware attack, is there a separate responsibility? If we have an attack on our network, who's responsible for that? Clear roles, clear responsibilities, and procedures for escalating incident. So I cannot handle it. What should happen next? For example, a financial service company detects unauthorized access attempts on their internal database. Well, the incident management plan should specify immediate isolation of the compromised server. We should have an incident plan. If this happens, isolate this part, isolate this internal database, assign IT staff responsibilities, activate an incident response team, and notify the CIO to oversee the response. So we know exactly if we have an unauthorized access, A, B, C, D, this is what we need to do, how to manage the incident. After we manage the incident, we want to analyze it. This is called incident analysis. This is when you carry out investigation and evaluation of the cybersecurity event to understand what is its scope, how much it's covering. Is it only the internal database or is it wider? Its impact, what are the root causes and potential future risks? So you ask yourself, what happened, why, and how we responded, analyzing everything that we did. What mitigation strategy did we use and what are the consequences? Were we able to contain it? Did the detection function work properly? Remember, the detection function should come before the respond. So it's either yes, it's working, or no, because the detect function is our basically radar system. Did it pick up the incident before we started to respond? This is what we need to do in incident analysis, basically analyzing what happened, why it happened, what's its impact, and how did we respond. So a retail company experienced a ransomware attack. Okay. The cybersecurity team analyzes server logs. Again, this is part of the analysis. Antivirus alert to determine whether these things were working or not. Firewall data to determine that the malware entry point, where did it came from, attack vector, affected asset, and scope. And this is what we mean by incident analysis. And what they do, they document their finding to inform future protective measures. So what do we mean by this? Let's assume the antivirus software failed. Then we have a problem with the antivirus software. Is it up to date? This is what incident analysis. Or we determined that the problem is in the firewall. Well, we need to maybe update our firewall. This is what we mean by incident analysis. Analyze exactly what happened. Now, after you analyze, you know what happened, you assess the damage, you figure out where the leak is coming from. Now, you want to prepare a report and do the communication. Incidents. Incident response and reporting. Here, what we're looking at is timely sharing of information about these events. To who? You might have to communicate internally, CIO, CEO, CFO, Chief Information Officer, whoever those people are, and you might have to talk to external people about this, depending on the severity, depending on the scope, including regulatory authority. If customers are affected, you have to inform them. If your partners, suppliers, so on and so forth. Here you have to have a clear role of the people. Who should make the communication? Should anyone say whatever they want to, or should we have appropriate people making those communication? Who needs to be informed, and under what circumstances? Do we have clear policies? Who should we contact, and what should we tell them? Simply put, are stakeholders aware of what's happening? Who are the stakeholders? Practically everyone. If you should be aware, are you aware of what's happening? How do we know if you should be aware or not? Based on policies and procedures that we already have in place. Not after the incident happened, we try to figure out what do we need to do. We should have a plan ahead of time. And this is what we mean by incident response reporting. How How are we reporting and communicating this information? An example will be an online retailer experience a data breach. Target. Compromising customer payment information. Target, right? That's happened in the real world. The response team immediately informs senior management, internal, legal counsel, could be internal or external, regulatory authorities, and communicate transparently with customers, explaining the issue, the action being taken, and measure to protect affected customers. I believe Target, what they did, they offered their customers some sort of credit protection, make sure they can monitor their credit for the next 12 months or something like that. The point is, a data breach occurred. Do we know how are we going to report this incident and communicate it to relevant individual, internal, external parties? Incident mitigation is what? Is action taken to contain. Now we are mitigating, trying to reduce the damage caused by the cybersecurity incident, minimize its effect, limit the incidents from expanding, minimize the effect on the asset, on the operation, on all stakeholders involved. This is what we mean by incident mitigation. And part of this process is we identify new vulnerabilities and make sure those new vulnerabilities are mitigated and documented. Simply put, incident mitigation, part of it is lesson learned. We need to know how to stop it and what should we do next, because the next thing we have to do is to recover. And everything that we did here, it will help us in the recovery stage. So for example, a healthcare provider experienced a phishing attack that leads to credential theft. Somehow they were able to steal password, the Hillary Clinton example. Mitigation action include immediately disabling compromised account, resetting password for all users, applying security patches, and reinforcing staff training to prevent similar future incident. What are we doing? After it happened, we are mitigating to reduce the damage. Everybody changed their password. We don't know if they stole one password, two password. Let's all change our password. Let's apply security patches. Let's inform the staff about what to look for in phishing attacks. And let's take a look at a complete example when it comes to the response function. And I'm going to be using a large accounting firm that experienced a ransomware attack affecting its critical system. What's a ransomware attack? It's when they lock your system and you have to pay them in order to unlock it. Basically, they take your data as a hostage. Well, incident management, the incident response team is activated immediately to isolate the affected server. So first thing is they got to certain servers. Let's keep the attack there. Then we have to analyze logs and alert to pinpoint the initial access point so they cannot go from somewhere else, identifying compromised employee workstation as the infected sources, as the infection sources. So incident analysis, what happened? And let's close that loop. Now we know what happened. We're going to start to communicate. Clients, regulatory bodies, and company executives are informed promptly with clear, frequent updates provided. And at the end, we mitigate. The firm restores services from secure backup, implement immediate security measures such as software update, increase endpoint protection, and stronger authentication control. This is part of incident mitigation. So in this session, what we did is we looked at the response function and basically how are we responding? How are we responding? The attack did happen. Now we need to respond. We detected it. I hope we detected it. And the reason is we want to detect before because we want to start early. Then after this, it's going to come the recover step, the recover function. But before we move into the recover function, let's take a look at a multiple choice questions from farhatlectures.com. Following a cybersecurity attack involving customer data, a healthcare provider's incident response team promptly communicates the incident detail to regulatory authorities affected patient and management. So they inform everyone. Which of the response function categories is illustrated by this action? Now, believe it or not, there are certain questions in the information systems and control exam that you can, as long as you know basic language, you'll be able to answer the question. Or if you don't know anything, which function help us communicate the information, promptly communicate the information about this incident to relevant or stakeholders or the parties that are affected? Is it incident management, incident analysis, incident mitigation, incident response reporting, and communication? Now, if you don't know anything, if I have to guess, I will guess with D, incident response reporting and communication, because you are communicating on a timely fashion with those affected. Now, nevertheless, okay, this is easy. It is easy because communication is, it's clearly stated, it's incident response reporting and communication. Nevertheless, you want to know what incident management is. You want to know what incident analysis. You want to know what's incident mitigation. For example, if we're looking at incident mitigation, it's how do you contain it? How do you contain the event? This is how you're mitigating the event. It has nothing to do with communication. Incident analysis is what? Is studying what happened, focusing on the technical evaluation. What happened? How did they get in? This is incident analysis. And incident management, it's basically involved procedures that the organization undertake. And how do they manage it? How do they plan to manage the incident management? So it has nothing to do with communication with the stakeholders. Therefore, yes, some of the questions are pretty straightforward. It's the nature of the beast. Nevertheless, you need to be familiar with this. What should you do now? Go to farhatlectures.com, where you have additional resources, multiple choice, AI CPA previously released questions with video solution for them. If you're a CPA exam candidate, invest in yourself. That's the best investment you can make. Good luck and study hard.